And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate, tax planning, so much more. Over 80 categories of consumer advocate content right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show every day. You can count on us to battle against that mainstream media and always just providing you the timely truth centered around all these different areas that are going to help you live a better life and avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent out there. All of our expert contributors have been vetted, and they are the absolute best in their field, and we bring them in and we talk about all types of things happening in Tampa Bay, the Gulf Coast region of Florida. We're going to talk some economic conditions as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a great lineup. Let's go ahead and introduce our expert contributor. Scott Kepler's in the house, Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome back in, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Always great to be here. Looking forward to having a good show and sharing some knowledge and hopefully helping the folks that are out there listening and watching.
Absolutely. Support the local lender, the local economy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Jessica Russell in the house making her debut. Welcome in.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Brandon. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I can't wait to kind of share just what I've been recently doing. And what I love to do is just help people and really grow and thrive in their business.
Awesome. Excellent. We're going to talk a little bit about web design and visuals and social media today. So marketing. Yeah. So we'll get our marketing hat on for a little bit there. All right. Awesome. And we have Doug Levi in the house, Strategic Insurance as well. Welcome back.
Yeah. Thanks for having me back on. Always happy to be here. And we're going to talk today again about getting ready for hurricanes. We got a few things brewing out in the Gulf and making sure people are prepared. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that and a couple other things.
That's right. It's coming up. It's coming up, approaching, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Tropical Storm Dorian. So we say a prayer of protection around our whole state, but it's always best to be prepared. So
absolutely,
we'll be talking about that and giving some good tips.
And last time you were on the show, I thought that was a great point too, when you started talking about the auto side and the insurance side when it comes to automobiles and some of the new technology. So that's a plethora of resources
Absolutely.
That you have there.
Always happy to do that. So.
That's awesome. All right, hey, this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show on Treasure Island, right on Gulf Boulevard. There, beautiful property. You got to check it out if you haven't been there. And it's a great place for a local staycation, or maybe if you're out of town, you call it a vacation. But this place, you want to check it out. 2 pools on site. They got Sloppy Joe's Restaurant and Beach Bar. Huge beach. Clyde Smith, the general manager, when he comes on the show, he jokingly says it's a 2-beer beach because it takes you 2 beers to walk all the way down to the beach. It's that long of a beach. So pretty cool place. Lots of beautiful sand, sugar sands out there, and lots of things to do in this area as well. The Bilmar Beach Resort, one of the best hotels on the beach, in my opinion, and it's a great place. Very friendly staff. Reach out to them and book directly instead of booking on some of those other websites. You want to book directly with the Bilmar Beach Resort to get the best price. Give them a call. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I got a hot listing here I want to let you know about. This property we just listed yesterday, 1645 Parker Boulevard. Now, this is a property that we just listed. We only have the one front view picture. We're waiting on the photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks, but this is a beautiful home. We just listed at $509,000. Gated community. You got you got access to a pond, or a nice lake rather, and it's a great property. Over 3,500 square feet at 1645 Parker Boulevard in Odessa. Check out all of our real estate properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, Scott, we got a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the mortgage side. There's the potential for a trade deal. There's all these things out there happening geopolitically. But when it comes to, the inner thoughts of people, it's like, hey, focus on your sphere of control, things that you can matter.
Absolutely. And that's where, these things that are happening in the economy having an impact on the mortgage rates. And that's why they're as low as they are now. We're at basically a 3-year low at this point. And I just saw a study that Realtor.com had posted from Ellie Mae, who's a big collection of software that mortgage people use, and they use the data that they get from that to analyze things, and they're showing that the credit scores for people applying for refinances are at the highest point that they've ever been.
Wow.
And that's because there's such a big fluctuation in the market with values increasing and with interest rates going down, that there's some huge savings there, either to save money on a monthly basis, pull money out for renovations or debt consolidation, or reduce your term down and pay a mortgage off faster.
Right.
But all of these economic things that are happening, like consumer confidence came in really high today, that just shows that our economy is very healthy and that people have a lot of confidence in what's happening right now. And that's good for us as a nation,
Absolutely,
and as an economy.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And kind of an update on Wall Street, it says traders assume that the week's biggest news event would be the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's speech at the annual Jackson Hole Banking Conference. Instead, China seized the headlines by announcing new tariffs on U.S. goods. So that was dated August 26th. But when you look at domestic stock, ended up for the week lower for the week. NASDAQ fell 1.83, the S&P 1.4%, the Dow Jones 0.9. But when you look at it, I think it really comes down to the United States economy. People know it's still worldwide recognized the number one, bar none, place to put your money, place to invest. And I think it's just a matter of time until China really realizes that and makes a deal with us. I mean, in the short term, we might eat a little bit of crow or whatever they say, that's like now it's a time for, the Americans to really be proud. I mean, we're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, we are. And, you were talking about trickling down to that individual sphere of what they can control.
That's right.
And, now is a time to, like I said, take advantage of the opportunity that's presented with a great market as far as your house value goes and the amount of equity that you've probably built up. If you've, only owned your home for a year or 2 years, there's some equity there. And most likely it would be an opportunity with the interest rates lower to save a ton of money on a refinance or do that renovation you've been thinking about doing.
That's right.
And that's where my team can come in and help you determine, exactly what options are available and if it's feasible and if it makes sense based on, both your short-term and your long-term goals for your family.
Yeah, if you just bought a home 2 or 3 years ago, you're looking at, hey, I got 28, 27 years left. What I can do is take and reposition to maybe a 20-year mortgage or 25 amortization. Sometimes you can do that.
Absolutely.
Right? And then you say, okay, well, the rates have gone down 1.5 or 0.8, even if it's 0.875, you look at that's long-term savings, especially if you're talking about $300,000 to $500,000.
Absolutely, and that's when you factor in things like mortgage insurance, and what the loan to value is, or based your value based on what you owe, and the difference. I mean, we're at a 3-year low, so that means if you bought any time in the last 3 years, your interest rate's higher than what it is now.
Yes.
Meaning that what you could get today. And, so that means you should open up and look and see what options are out there.
Yeah.
And don't just jump on the internet and look and see what interest rates are and start doing the math yourself. There's a lot more that goes into it. Like I said, mortgage insurance is a big thing.
Yes.
We're seeing a lot of appraisal waivers right now. So we can make it super easy because we do basically a paperless mortgage. We can verify income and assets, with electronically, and we send all our documents electronically. And if we can avoid an appraisal, you can get a refinance done in a week or two with virtually no paperwork.
Yeah, that's awesome. You just have to pay your doc stamps and basic stuff every time you close.
We send somebody out to the person's house to sign the documents with them there. So it's not inconvenient. You do it at 7:00 at night. You don't want to have to take off work to go to a title company. No problem. We can actually do it virtually as well, where they basically sign with a notary on a secure video chat.
Nice. Okay.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of that yet.
Yeah, there's not a lot of it. It's something new to the industry, and as we're getting more and more technologically advanced in our industry, we're seeing a lot more conveniences and a lot of things that are helping us streamline the process and make it easier. So if you got a mortgage 3 or 4 years ago and it was really tough after the crash to get a mortgage, as we all know, there was a lot more paperwork and a lot more scrutiny involved, and things have loosened up a little bit and gotten easier from the consumer standpoint.
And if you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here. We're talking with Scott Kepler, scottkepler.com. Mortgage Approval Group is his company. And on another point, this makes a great opportunity for renters.
Absolutely.
Because the markets, you just said the guidelines have kind of loosened up. The rates are low still.
Yeah. And from, that standpoint, I have, I think, 3 different clients right now that are purchasing the home that they were renting from the individual they were renting from. Because if you think about it, that landlord, maybe he or she's owned the house for 10 or 15 years, and they've been renting it out, and they see that the market's at a high and they just want to sell it, and they're willing to sell it to the person who's in there. And there's ways to make that really work to their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to take care of the home. There's a lot of advantages to those types of situations. Be careful if you're writing up a contract for deed, or is it a lease option to purchase? You got to know the difference, and you got to understand the different dynamics of each. So, some more great content here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group. We got Jessica Russell coming up, as well as Doug Levi later in the show as well. Our feel-good story of the day is a good one as well. This is an interesting story. A retiring FBI agent, he has a surprise reunion with a kidnapped baby he rescued as a rookie. So pretty cool story coming at you right here in our feel-good story of the day. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, national syndicated radio and TV show. We are looking for local area business expert contributors for our show. If you'd like to be considered, reach out at consumerqb.com, submit a form at consumerqb.com, or call 813-670-7372. We're interviewing for expert contributors for our program, 813-670-7372.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals or negotiations. We love to help our sellers maximize the exposure on the sale of their real estate properties. Also, buyers, investors. We help you make smart decisions when it comes to making those offers, making sure you're not offering too much in this appreciating environment. You got to be careful that some of the sellers aren't getting too optimistic in their value. Be real careful about that. This segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They got a deli, New York City bar, Brooklyn bakery, catering, banquets, and much more there at the Lucky Dill in beautiful South Tampa here. 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard. They've got a great location in Palm Harbor as well. Online at luckydilldeli.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, calling all veterans, first responders, seniors, teachers. We're looking for folks to come out and support our event here with our Veterans and Heroes. It's a Real Estate Success Summit coming up. We're going to have Captain Matt Bruce, nationally syndicated show host on 179 markets here in the United States. Myself, I'm going to be speaking as well. So Captain Matt Bruce and Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback, present a night where we're going to give back to the veterans. We're helping the best in the business give all you didn't know and you need to know when it comes to credit, finance, estate planning, real estate benefits, mortgage, insurance, so much more. Catering by Amici's, September 12th, 6 to 8:30. At American Legion Post 5. So this is an event that's right there in the heart of South Tampa, Kennedy and Del Mabry, right there. And it's going to be a great time. Come on out, enjoy some great food. Attorney Joe Pippin's going to be there as well, talking about, helping you plan for that fourth quarter of life. You've got the credit magician, William Crowley, going to be educating as well in the areas of credit improvement. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to talk a lot about real estate and mortgage there as well, and helping you understand more about those benefits. A lot of veterans don't understand the benefits that they have, and there's so much going on in their life, especially if they're dealing with PTSD or something along those lines. So we want to help the veterans. We offer a 1/4 to a 1/2 point discount for any deal that we do buying, selling, or investing with Platinum MVP team as well. So check out the Facebook page or Eventbrite page and come to our Veterans and Heroes Real Estate Success Summit, September 12th, Thursday, September 12th, 6 to 8 p.m. Catered food from Amici's Catered Cuisine. It's going to be a great time, but you got to register. All right, a couple of hot listings for this segment. 861 Mandalay Avenue. This property is gorgeous. It's right on Clearwater Beach on the north end of the beach over there by some celebrities. You got Hulk Hogan in the neighborhood and the founder of Spanx and all these different, some local celebrities there. 861 Mandalay Avenue. This property, we got updated pictures we're going to bring to you next time, but we've got 2-bedroom, 2-bath house on Clearwater Beach. Beautiful views. You're literally 200 steps from the soft sands and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful Clearwater Beach. Check out PlatinumMVPteam.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, time to talk marketing. Let's talk with Jessica Russell here. We're going to talk web design, marketing, social media. Where do you want to start?
Awesome. Well, I kind of just want to give a basic summary of what I do. And one of the things that I really love to do is the main thing is definitely web design and development, because how you represent your business or your company is super important. I think of it as really making that first impression. Think of like going on a first date. You can't just grab whatever you have in the closet. So just how you represent yourself as a business is very important, and definitely visually to even the functionality or the layout of the website that is designed. And so, I really also specialize in definitely real estate web development and the IDX MLS integrations with real estate brokers or even real estate agents who are just beginning or have been doing it for a long time. And I also work in advertising, whether that's creating the ad, designing it, or even the social media marketing, the management side of things. So just a lot. And so one of my clients I was recently working with, she's so fun. She's actually based in Chicago, and she actually is a real estate broker, and she needed a new website for her company, and so she contacted me and asked me, and so that is the before image of what her website first looked like, and she needed help on rebranding. She needed a better functional layout, and just visual wise, it needed to be a little bit improved to kind of draw people's attention. And so that's what it looked like at first. And then if you go to the after, that's kind of the new design that I created for her, where she has all kinds where I added the IDX and MLS listings, the affiliate links that she would even need to drive more traffic, or the SEO that they would need for their company. And as far as even just really how you present yourself is so important. I mean, I think of it like this, image really is everything, especially when you're presenting yourself to the world, because it captures, you create more trust and credibility for people, because initially 75% of users, and this is a true fact, 75% of users make their judgments on a company based on a website's design.
Yeah.
So, and especially the functionality. So functionality is also very important to make it easy for the user. And so you have everything all at once. So especially for the IDX, and the MLS listings, instead of having your potential client going somewhere else for a third-party website trying to find your listings,
right,
you have it right there on the website where it's easier, and it actually generates more leads that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be sticky. The website's got to be something that they're going to navigate off of easy. Oh, get frustrated or the cart hangs up. You got to walk all those through and make sure that you're presenting that. And it makes a lot of sense when you look at marketing and the way that marketing's changed today. That's why we're involved with radio and TV, and we got a separate show called the American Dream Television Show. It's about creating valuable content, pushing that content out, and then that way when you set the listing appointment, for example, they're going to research you, and your reputation's already preceded you before you walk in that door.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Somebody the other day said, "Man, you got 997 videos on YouTube." I said, "Yeah, I've been doing it a while."
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
So, and like just to point that out too, like right when somebody comes on your website, or if they see your profile on Facebook or Instagram, they have to be able to know exactly who you are and what you do right when they get on there. It shouldn't take time for them to figure it out as they keep scrolling and scrolling.
Yeah.
They should know that through either your cover photo, your profile picture, or even the first couple posts. They should be able to know exactly what you offer and who you are. And if they don't know, then you're going to automatically lose interest.
Yeah.
And the same thing is for even if you're pushing for advertising, such as I know that there's a lot of real estate agents who already have a website, but their advertising isn't as strong, and they're not getting that much response rate.
Right.
So the reason why is basically it is because, typically when you grab a smartphone, you're scrolling on Facebook or Instagram just constantly, and that's where the advertisements are. And if you don't have a visually captivating image, or people, they're just going to scroll right past it.
Right.
And so that's why it is important visually, and for people to understand who you are first, basically appealing to the five senses as much as you can.
Yeah.
Through visuals, through videography, or even professional photography, especially for real estate agents. It's super important because it makes you look professional, it makes you look credible, and it also causes people to trust you in that you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, it's a big part of it. It's where our world is now. You look around, people are on social media. You walk, it doesn't matter if you're at a concert, a movie, wherever you're at, people are sitting there scrolling on Instagram or Facebook. It's just a passing time. So definitely having that audience, having that image to your audience rather, is a key. We're talking with Jessica Russell here, Gifted Eye Design, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That is her company, and this is your website here, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, walk us through that.
So basically, as you scroll, or you'll be able to see my portfolio and my work and just who I am about. And I really am about relationship. Like, my favorite thing is to be able to get to know the clients, because when I get to know them for who they are, it's a lot easier for me to design their website or their advertisement based on who they are as a business and what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Such as the recent client that I was working with, she's like, okay, I really need a website that's elegant. That was her word, elegant, because she really is an elegant person. She's amazing, and she's very professional. And so I had to create something that would reflect, yes, who she is as much as I can, and also to share with the world, what she's passionate about. And she really is passionate about helping people, and, whether for the real estate needs, and just she always goes to bat for people and going above and beyond what, normally typical people would promise. And so I believe that's really important, is not, just throwing up a website, but you have to communicate who you really are and make it about relationship and make it about people.
Yeah. Now, how do you get traffic to that website? Because I think once you have the website, that's the next question.
Yeah, because once you have the website, the main thing is definitely the SEO that you have to try to get your name out there. And the main one is through advertising, and especially doing it effectively. As far as social media, like let's say you want to push your website on social media. Now, of course, you have to build it. You have to build the advertisement with visual capture to draw people's attention. But one of the ways to do that is to be personal. So you can hire a professional videographer, and you can, get together, do a video bio where you're just sharing who you are and what you do. And, listening to the professional videographer's advice of what to capture, and make sure that they understand who you are, though. Because some videographers they're not really personable, and if they don't understand who you are or what you do, they're not going to be able to fully capture that. And so, and one of the ways is to make sure that your posts, that you constantly post 3 times a day. That's one of the things on Instagram, on Facebook, 3 times a day. So breakfast time, lunchtime, and in the evening, but not too late, where everyone's going to be sleeping because they're not going to see your stuff.
Well, prime time, 7, 8 o'clock, that's prime time.
Right. And so, and making sure that one of the ways, it's a free way of doing it. You can add affiliate links. And what that really is basically you're drawing traffic, you're putting other people's advertisements from their businesses or their companies, even big companies, and putting it on your website where you're drawing traffic through that. And you can even make money that way too.
Excellent. Hey, check out the website, Jessica Russell. What's your website?
GiftedIEYEDesign.com.
Awesome. Great job. All right. Retiring FBI agent has surprise reunion with kidnapped baby he rescued as a rookie. Coming up when we come back right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they run a first-class organization at Brothers Easy Moving. They do a great job. And whether you're planning a local move or a long-distance move across the country, Brothers Easy Moving can do it, and they can help you. They're very highly reviewed online. Check out their reviews. Give them a call. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And big announcement lately, we're moving to 860 The Answer. So everybody that's listening to us here, remember on the 26th, we're going over to 860 The Answer. It's also FM 93.7. And it's a great lineup there. It's an honor to be asked to kind of anchor that 4 o'clock spot. So we're going to be at 4 o'clock drive time on Salem Communications flagship station. So we're real excited about that here at the Consumer Quarterback Show. And a couple of hot listings here, compliments of the Platinum MVP team. We got 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. This one is actually in that town and country area, close to the Veterans Expressway, close to Bahama Breeze. You got bay access here. So if you buy this water, you're on Freshwater Canal, this property, you have a dock, you got bay access kind of behind that Bahama Breeze area, the Whiskey Joe's, all that new restaurant there that they opened up as well. I think it's called Water, all that area. It's a really cool property, 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa, Florida. Check it out at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, so in the house today, we got a great lineup. We got Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group, scottkepler.com, Jessica Russell, Gifted Eye Design, and now we're going to talk with Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. And what's been going on in the insurance world, man?
Hey, man, another day in paradise is what I say. So, really want to, again, get the word about hurricane prep. Right now, we've got Tropical Storm Dorian in the Gulf and the cone of uncertainty. And, the message in our agency, our trademark mission actually is to help families prepare, protect, and recover from life's unexpected events. So it's not just about selling insurance.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to mention a few things on that. And as I was preparing for the show, think about this. What would you do in a hurricane or an emergency if you couldn't communicate with your family at all? Cell towers are down. We are so dependent on our phones and everything. And just picture you can't communicate.
Yeah.
What would you do? So a great part of a good plan is having a family communication plan, which may mean something like you're going to go meet at a specific place, a specific area, right? So you're going to go, for example, maybe meet at my office or meet, let's say your house, you can't get to your house because of flooding, right? So, all these things we, God willing, never have to face personally. These are the times a year where it really comes to the forefront of people's mind. Again, no doubt, food, water, flashlights. A lot of people probably have that, but I'd encourage our listeners to think about, okay, if I can't get to my house, I can't get in touch with my wife, cell towers are down, what do we do?
Yeah.
And what would that feel like or look like? Let's say, I've got 3 kids.
Yep.
And if you have older kids, they could be at different schools. They could be at different, it just gets bigger as your families gets older,
right?
To really think through that. So family communication plan, just kind of talk about it, think about that. Where would you meet up? What would you do?
Yeah.
And that's a big tip for the day for sure. Is have that plan for your family.
Great idea. I love that. You know, forcing that conversation, because it's almost like estate planning, talking to your parents about death, it's like, hey, it's one of those things you have to do. But this situation, it's like, when the towers go down, not everybody has a satellite phone.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have a sat phone.
Snail mail take too long to get there. The mail shut down.
Courier pigeons, smoke signals, So,
kind of going back.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely going back, sticks and fire. But so again, just think about that. The other thing as I was looking through it was some things I thought, again, just kind of interesting in terms of like an emergency kit, dusk mask. So think about that. That would be a good one to have that you may not think of, people may not have. You see the masks if maybe you're painting or something like that. Again, if there's a lot of debris in the area, there was a fire, who knows? Because again, you could have a hurricane that knocks off a tornado, that knocks down a power line, that causes a big fire.
Yeah.
Right? So dusk mask was good. Solar battery chargers. I thought this was another really good one. So
like
do
that.
you have solar battery chargers? And again, so many of us, we don't think kind of in this long term, like, oh my gosh, what if we don't have power for 3 weeks? What if we don't have, and again, knock on wood and praise God, we haven't really faced a major catastrophe like that in the area, but other parts of our state have.
Yeah.
So the ability to have a solar battery powered cell phone charger, for example, that would be really important.
Yeah.
And then just a few other ones, again, basic things that you should have that you may not have thought of, like garbage bags, moist towelettes. They're so practical. There could be cleanup that's going on.
Yeah.
Work gloves, those things. Just now's the time. Throw in a box, get yourself prepared. You can go directly to our website, tampabayinsurance.com/hurricane. Again, tampabayinsurance.com/hurricane. And I've really, what I've done is just gathered a lot of good resources in one place. From FEMA, from Red Cross, and just put a lot of resources to try and make it easy for people and just raise that awareness.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great idea. I went to a listing appointment one time, and it was a nice big, it was a multi-million-dollar listing appointment. And the gentleman had a big oversized garage, and I kid you not, stacked up on top of each other were those big gallons of water that you put into your cooler at work or whatever. And I don't know how many he had, 150, 250. I mean, it was a lot.
Well, you hear the term preppers. There's no doubt there's some people today, they're quote unquote preppers of just, the times we live in and all that. And I'm not necessarily a full on prepper, but doing some of these steps, right, are just going to help you and your family in the event of, a real emergency, right? Exactly. And it's one of those things it's when it's too late, it's too late. And I will tell you from firsthand experience, even going back a few years with Irma, and, Irma was, supposedly headed right here and all that. And waiting in line for water at Publix at like 6:30 in the morning is not a good feeling.
Not a lot of fun.
That's not a lot of fun, especially if you got young kids and all that. And so, again, don't believe the hype and all the media and all that, but do simple things now. Like go get yourself in order now. And I guarantee you, as the week progresses and we get closer to the weekend, you're going to hear more and more. And again, the storm's about to hit Puerto Rico and where it's coming and all that. So it's just, the time to get the word out to all our consumers. Make sure you're prepared.
That's right. Yeah. If you just joined us, we're talking with Doug Levi here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Strategic Insurance. His company. And we're talking about ways that you can prepare for hurricanes. It happens every year here in South Florida. And, we also have Florida Firearms on the show as a partner of the show. So, that's something else you want to consider. Are you going to be able to protect your home? Because I've talked to people that lived in southern Louisiana, actually dated a girl back in the day. And, I heard some pretty interesting stories that people don't want to think about. They don't want to talk about, but it happens. It's real life here, guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's well put. And again, I think in our society today in general, there's at times lack of personal responsibility, right? It's easy to blame the other guy. Oh, it's not my fault because of whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So this is a great opportunity to just say, we're different on your show, the Consumer Quarterback. We're focused about our consumer and educating and preparing and taking that personal responsibility. Don't wait for the government to bail you out.
That's right. That's right.
Don't wait for the police department to come and get your butt out of the house. You gotta be taking care of yourself and thinking through those things.
Yeah. And when it comes to having your policy on hand, how does a claim work? If I happen to have a position where unfortunately I have to file a claim, what do I need to do? What do I have to have copies of that paperwork?
So you don't have to have a copy of it. So we do recommend, and even kind of tying back to some of what Jessica was mentioning. And like our agency, we have a portal, a consumer portal, where people can access all their policies online. So we want to make it really easy, right? So, and let's say, again, I'm an independent agent. I work with 18 home companies, 7 auto companies, different companies. You could have 4 or 5 policies, all with different companies, and it's all in one spot.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going with it. If your agent doesn't do that, at the very least, what I would do, I'd snap a picture of your policy and save it in the favorites as your phone.
Yeah.
You follow me? So you get your deck page in the mail, coming home at late. Maybe you remember on the Consumer Quarterback Show you heard, snap a picture of that policy.
Yep.
And keep it as a favorite in your phone.
That's right.
Just an easy way. That way you've got your policy number, the company, and all of that. We also have links on our website to almost all the major companies out there and the claims numbers.
Nice.
in terms of, right after a claim. So the other big thing on that note, and so many people get, pretty dialed in about filing a claim. You can file a claim months after it's occurred and the carrier will still pay out. I'm not saying to do that. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But in the event of a claim, what you really want to start thinking about is protecting my property. Like, what steps can I take, keeping yourself safe, to preserve the property from future damage, right? So it could be, all right, well, if part of my roof blew off, do I have a tarp
the roof
in my emergency kit that I could throw on and secure so that more water doesn't get in? Those are the types of things that you really want to do immediately after a claim.
Right.
And again, the big thing is you want to keep yourself safe. Don't do something if you think you're going to hurt yourself doing it.
Yeah.
But those are the types of things I would encourage people to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good tips right there from Doug Levi here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I like it. Excellent content here. As always, talking about the prepping side, for the hurricanes, there's a lot of things to consider. Go to the website. He's got a great website there, TampaBayInsurance.com, and you're going to be able to see all types of checklists there. FEMA is represented, the government. That way, here's the official checklist. I've got the generator. I've got, all the different pieces that you want in that puzzle, because you don't want to be doing it when you're scrambling, looking at the news every 5 minutes,
And I'll add one last item on that is know your evacuation zone.
Yes.
So, absolutely. And there's a difference between your flood zone and your evacuation zone.
Yeah.
They're not always the same. So I actually, again, on my website, TampaBayInsurance.com/hurricane, I have a link to both Pinellas County and Hillsborough County that takes you right to a spot where you can plug your address in and it will tell your evac zone. Are you A, B, C, D? Because that's super important. As the governor could be making announcements, or local law enforcement could be making announcements.
Yeah.
A lot of people, if you ask, they're like, I don't know my evacuation zone.
Yeah.
And again, they'll maybe say, I'm in a flood zone, or I'm not in a flood zone, but that's not your evacuation zone.
Yeah.
So
and get out early, man. Get out
that's
early.
It,
sometimes
exactly.
Last year we looked at it as like, okay, it's a little vacation. Let's just go take a mini vacation.
Absolutely.
It looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
Let's get on I-75 before everybody else does.
There you go. Smart. Don't be that last guy.
Yeah,
holding
absolutely.
the bag.
Doug Levi here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Strategic Insurance. When we come back, more from our lightning round. We're going to have all of our expert contributors contribute their best nuggets of advice, top tips, and ideas. And we're also going to talk about this retiring agent who had a surprise reunion with a kidnapped baby that he rescued as a rookie. Right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. That goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm also a top 1% realtor in the United States, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. And we got a hot listing on Boy Scout Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. If you ever lived in that North Tampa, you're shooting across Gun Highway there in Odessa over from East Lake, you know this property. It's right on Tarpon Springs Road. It's a beautiful opportunity here. 2 prime estate lots here. These are 5-acre estate home sites. We got 2 of them available. The total purchase price is $2.498 million, so just under $2.5 million here. 18117 Boy Scout Road, Odessa. There's also another property listed at Burrell, which is very similar. It's the same, pretty much the same property parcels. So it's 18150 Burrell Road, Odessa. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com for more information on our quarterback show and all of our real estate partners.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And every day we're going to bat here. We're telling you something positive around all types of cool stories here. And today we got a great story in our Feel Good segment.
Tell me something good.
FBI agent Troy Sowers' colleagues surprised him at his retirement party by inviting the baby he rescued 22 years ago, who is now a Marine corporal. In 1997, newborn Stuart Rimbert was abducted from the hospital by a woman impersonating a nurse. Rimbert was found 19 hours later in a box next to a restaurant dumpster in Tacoma, Washington, by Sowers, a rookie FBI agent in his first few months on the job. On Friday, the FBI bid farewell to Sowers, who is retiring after 22 years of service. His colleagues invited Rimbert. Quote, "It's crazy to think that without his efforts, I wouldn't even be here today," unquote. And that's what the Marine, I wouldn't be a Marine, he says, Rimbert told the news. And my family wouldn't be the same. I'm just super excited and honored to meet this man today. Sowers said the reunion was one of the best surprises he'd ever had. That's an awesome story, man. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So the FBI, and then, that kind of brings me back to thinking about, with Chris Voss and, having him on the show, former FBI lead hostage negotiator, and just top book online, Never Split the Difference. But yeah, the FBI, man, they're behind the scenes doing things, getting things done. It's funny, in his book, he mentioned one time, he said there was a story where he learned a kind of a technique from a drug dealer, because no matter who you are, when you need help, you call the FBI, so the FBI, the drug dealer, called the FBI, and, he was riding with another FBI agent, and he got a strategy from him, because he said the guy all of a sudden just said, "Hey, dog, how do I know she's alive?" It was a hostage situation. And he said, because it was the whole thing about reciprocity. When you ask for something in law enforcement, you think you have to give something. They didn't want to give something. So it kind of changed his mentality around that. But an interesting book. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Never Split the Difference. All right, in studio today, we got Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group in the house, local lender, support your local economy. We got Jessica Russell here. Gifted Eye Design is her company as well, web design, visual, social media. And Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, all types of insurance, covering the full umbrella there of all types of, we've even talked about key man insurances, those types of things. What happens if you get disabled? All those situations, Doug can help you with all of that. So now it's time for our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice. Let's start right here with ladies first. Jessica Russell.
Thank you. Basically, I would just want to say to remember that we have a visually driven platform that we use for advertising. So whatever you do when you advertise, just remember that it's visually driven. And so one of the tips I can offer you is to hire a professional social media manager or designer. You could hire me. I am offering 30% off on all of my services if you simply mention that you've seen me, heard me on this Consumer Quarterback Show today. And just don't give up on life and keep going for your dreams.
Awesome. I like that. Go for the dreams. Reach for the dreams out there. Scott Kepler.
My words of wisdom or parting words of wisdom, I guess, would be to take a look at your situation, whether you're a renter or you're a homeowner, and reach out to somebody on my team, and let's talk about how we can help you accomplish your goals a little bit better, or help you benefit financially.
That's right. Yeah, work with the local economy here, support the local team right here in Tampa Bay. And Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance.
So a little bit on kind of what Jessica was saying. I heard a quote the other day, and I think it was by Napoleon Hill, and it's, if you can dream it and conceive it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
Think about that. If you can dream it and conceive it, you can achieve it.
I love that.
And so everything starts with that, right? This building, your business, my business, all these started with something in our minds, and then we go from there. And then kind of tagging on that, and I know you're a Tony Robbins guy, is take massive action.
Yeah.
Take massive action. You get that dream, you get that idea, start.
That's right.
Start and take massive action. So that'll be my tip for the day for the crew out there.
I love it. Yeah, and focus, focus on what you want to accomplish. Don't get distracted. There's I think that's the challenge for most young people today, and people in general, but I think more specifically for young people, because there's so much attention, people grabbing your attention in different ways. There's so many bunny trails you can go down on this YouTube video, all these different things. But the power of focus is one that, I would talk about, is that, hey, listen, a lot of people talk a big game and they want it and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, especially Friday around 5:30, 6 o'clock, the happy hours. But when it comes down to it, it really does come down to the power of focus. What are you focusing on and who's influencing you? I think that's a big part of it. Are you listening to podcasts? Are you listening? By the way, you mentioned Tony Robbins. We had him come into our team meeting yesterday, and he's got an event coming up in Miami, or one of his sales reps come in. So
Cool.
He's got that event. It's the last time he's doing UPW in Florida.
Wow.
From what I hear. So that's the Unleash Your Power Within, where you walk on the coals and all that. But so good stuff. Let's do another round here. Ladies first. Let's do another round of top tips, nuggets of advice, any kind of parting wisdom you have.
I guess one of the things that I can suggest, I definitely think that, of course, have a very good functional website, and definitely hire a web developer who really knows who you are and what you do first, before you consider using them for your services. And definitely for advertising, let's say you don't really want to spend too much money on that. There is a free way that you can basically have professional posts for social media or Instagram. And if you guys are ever interested, you guys can contact me on my website, giftediyedesign.com, and you can ask me about that. And
Love it. I like it. I like it a lot. It's all about marketing these days. You got to get the customers in the door. Scott Kepler.
I think we've been talking a lot about planning, and whether that's getting ready for hurricane season or your finances or marketing, talk to a professional and put a good plan together, and then execute the plan. I think that's what it really comes down to.
That's right.
But if you need some help talking about, what your options are, or what questions you have, or what you should do to prepare for marketing or hurricane season, that's what our team's here for, is our whole group at the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Yeah, and renters, get off the fence. If you're renting still, come on. You're out there paying 30 to 40% more than you need to. Get off the fence. Get into home ownership. You got to do that. You got to take that step.
Disappointed look.
You got to take that step. Doug Levi.
Flood insurance. Do you have flood insurance? It's a great question to ask yourself. And if you don't, contact our office. Give us a call. That's a big one. Homeowners does not cover flood insurance. We'll probably talk about that more in a future show. But again, hurricanes season, etc. It's time of year that you got to ask, do I have flood insurance? And if you don't, and you're not in a flood zone, it's about $400 a year. It's pretty affordable. Definitely a good way to protect one of your biggest assets.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to call an audible here, guys. So we're going to talk about a mirror here. We got about a minute left. So negotiation is one of my strong suits. I teach negotiation at GTAR and Pro, and our team, of course. So I'm talking about a mirror here, real quick. A mirror, and it's not what you look at, or you look at. It's not one of those. This is when it talks to communication. When you're talking about communication, a mirror involves repeating the last 3 or 1 to 3 key words what the counterpart just mentioned. Okay, when you use a mirror, you're going to create a sense of similarity and understanding, which facilitates bonding. Okay, you want to make sure you follow that mirror with silence. You don't want to fill that airspace. You want to let the mirror sink in and let them understand what you're trying to do. And you want to use as connectors because they help your counterpart link his thoughts. And the mirror process is, you want to be careful as well about your tonality. Okay, you're going to use your late night DJ voice, is what Chris Voss calls it. Never split the difference. Start your sentence with, sometimes, especially if you're negotiating, you might say, I'm sorry, I just can't pay that much. Or I appreciate you coming down. It's so nice of you, but I just can't understand. I can't pay that amount. Mirror, you want to look at the last 3 words or the selected words, and you want to be silent. Again, be silent at the end of that mirror. And the mirror should be followed up by a label where you're going to label their emotions. But hey, check us out online, consumerqb.com. More information available. You can see links to all of our partners at consumerqb.com. Another great show today, and we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.